All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back live for another episode of the Mix Behind the Mic podcast. Special guest today, one of In the Mix's own, Katie Davis, DJ and MC at In the Mix Event Group. Katie's been with us for about 5 years now and anxious to have her on. Katie, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good to be here.
So I always get right into how, you got into this. And I'm not going to lie, refresh my memory. How did we all get this going and starting? I just simply remember that you were a college radio DJ.
Fresh out of college.
And we connected. But walk me through that and how we got here today.
So after I got out of college, I was just kind of looking for a job in my major. I went to Cabrini and I went for multimedia production and social media, and one of our DJs, DJ Gorms, actually followed me out of nowhere on Instagram.
See, I forgot this already. Yeah. Now I remember.
And I DM'd him, and I was like, I saw that he was a DJ, kind of stalked him a little bit, and I messaged him, and I was like, hey, I'm fresh out of college. I only know anything about radio, not so much about boards DJing. Sure. And he was like, oh, yeah, nice to meet you. I could come over. We could teach you some things, get you connected within the mix. And then literally the next day, we were on a FaceTime call.
So In the Mix 5 years now, which is crazy. I can't believe it's been that long. And I'm not going to lie, I forgot that it was simply a DM or a follow from Gorms that essentially
DM goes along the way.
There's so many people that have been with us that came here, Gorms, for example, applied, I think, to be a Quizzo host on Bar Scene.
I love that.
Not even for Event Group. And
I'm convinced everybody starts out as a Quizzo host.
It's wild. It's so funny. So, I want to bring you on. I want to bring on a female's perspective of, some of the entertainment DJ aspect of things. It's all been guys. So we want to bring on, a girl and your, thoughts, your feelings on things. So let's just dive right in. Is there anything in this past 2025 season or anything so far this year that you're loving or hating worth talking about that's trending?
One of the things that I have been seeing is, are you familiar with the photo dash?
Sure.
So typically, this is a reverse photo dash. So typically, the bride and groom will run around to each table. Photographers absolutely hate this. I love it. It makes for a fun time filler with dinner. But basically they are doing, the crowd is coming up to them. So instead of them running out to all the tables and taking up that
they're
time,
sitting
they're sitting in the middle of the dance floor. Yep. And then I hype up. I'm when I call your table, and it's funny because everyone's tripping and all these things are going on the dance floor. So I think that is a really good trend. And then another one that I've been seeing, mom doesn't really have a part in the wedding per se, on the bride side anyway. And a lot of people are doing, instead of a bouquet toss, they're doing bouquet dedications.
I'm all about this.
Yeah, I love it. And basically, the bride does a little speech and invites up the mom or motherly figure, and I love seeing that.
Yeah.
I'm very close to my mom, so I would definitely do that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. Moms don't get the hype or whatnot that they deserve at somebody's wedding. So I definitely think that's a cool touch that people are doing.
Yeah.
What do you think separates a good wedding from a great wedding? And this is a fun one because you could go so many which ways.
So many different things. One, at least from the MC perspective, essentially you are the vibe setter.
Sure.
And if you go out there, there's a huge difference between, all right, everybody, welcome out. Are you guys ready to have a good time? Versus are you guys ready to have a good time tonight? So I feel as long as you don't go out there and you're a boring MC, then you're not going to have a boring crowd, at least in the beginning. Music plays a really big part in it. And every time that I talk to my couples, I always go into, what is your music taste? I feel a lot of couples, they tend to cater to their crowd more than to them. And at the end of the day, it's your wedding.
Sure.
So I feel another thing is if you are not on the dance floor, then you're going to have absolutely nobody on the dance floor.
Well, I won't say anybody, but there's definitely more people dancing if you're out there dancing, and that's
absolutely,
sure.
Yeah.
What's the wildest thing you've ever seen at a wedding?
So I was doing this wedding in like the middle of PA. I don't remember where it was. Very small wedding. The groom worked on cars.
Okay.
And they were doing a bouquet garter. And as I was putting the chair on the middle of the dance floor, the groom was like nowhere to be found. He comes out wearing a headlamp and like, what are they called? Gurneys? The thing that rolls under the car. And he just rolls under the bride and like takes off the garter, which I thought was pretty wild and pretty funny.
Is there any song that's played at a wedding that you hope you never hear again?
I'm probably going to get a lot of backlash for this, but Piano Man.
Piano Man?
Piano Man.
Why would there be backlash about Piano Man?
Because I feel like it's a very loved song. But for me, I don't know. I feel like it's the last song to a lot of weddings.
No.
Yeah, it is. At least the weddings I'm on.
I'm not about them anymore.
Yeah.
Been there, done that. So let's go here. What do you love about weddings the most? What are you taking away? And I ask the question because a lot of times, I mean, listen, we have a really fun job. We get to essentially be part of people's magical days. And realistically, I feel like people sometimes look at us post weddings as rock stars. So I'm always just curious of like how you portray your job doing this and like, what you think of it.
I absolutely love it. I think your job as a DJ and MC is to make people happy, whether that be you're DJing a bar, a Sweet 16, a wedding, whatever the case may be. And I think a lot of the times things happen behind the scenes, or you mess up DJing and you think that you're doing a terrible job. And then at the end of the night, when everyone comes up and like is like, oh, you did amazing. Yeah, we had so much fun. Yeah. And like, a lot of people got a lot going on in life. And, when you hear those comments like, hey, I forgot about all this or whatever for the 4 hours that you were DJing, it's like the best feeling in the world. And I feel like the best part about being a DJ isn't all the cool, weddings that you get to do or venues you get to do. It's you're a part of really special moments that you don't kind of think about until you sit back and you're like, wow, like I really did that. Like that's a really cool thing to be a part of.
That people are never going to forget you.
Yeah, exactly.
Too is massive.
Exactly.
So what sticks out to you? We prep you coming on the pod. I'll even call myself out that we were going to bring you to Jersey 6 weeks ago and said, hey, we're moving things to Ben Salem. Shout out to our new space, Studio 33 over here today. Day one of the new spot. But, what is it specifically that you think you can shed any light on things, bring anything for, brides to take away from this episode of what maybe people aren't talking about enough?
For me, at least, we do these things. They're called final calls where we, go over the picture you've painted for your wedding.
Sure.
And a lot of the times they always ask us, hey, what are people doing? Hey, what is the most popular intro song? What is this? And my best advice is this is your wedding. I feel like a lot of the times, especially as a girl, like we think about everybody else but ourselves. And like your wedding is the one day that like you need to think about yourself.
Sure.
This is something that you're going to remember the rest of your life. Don't cater to grandma. Don't cater to mom, dad. Obviously we know that we have to, as a DJ, cater music wise. But at the end of the day, this is your wedding. My best advice is to plan it how you want it. Don't worry about, pleasing this person or I have to have this when it's not in the budget or something like that.
Fair. I think it's a great point.
Yeah.
I don't think we stress enough about people focus too much on the little things and not just be in it for themselves and not revolve around not appeasing everybody else, I should say.
Right.
So I definitely think there's got to be a massive difference between male and female MCs.
Big difference.
So in your experience, I mean, listen, you want to get married one day, you have your own vision and vibe of what you think. Is there anything that, you take away from it, maybe different from a male MC? And, I personally want to know, how do I help even land planes or sell ideas better of if they're thinking they want a female or male? Because 80% of the time, I don't think people have a preference, but 20% of the time they
Yeah.
do. So, any light you can shed on that is always helpful for people.
Yeah. Honestly, I think having a male female duo is one of the best ways to go. Not saying that the groom isn't important by any means,
Sure.
but for us women, we've been planning our wedding since we were out the womb, pretty much.
Right.
And I think having that female on your team, whether it be the MC, the videographer, photographer, kind of gives the bride a little more ease of like, hey, that's a woman. They understand what it's they understand what it's like to either plan a wedding or know what it's like to plan a wedding. They know how we want certain things. Like, I'm pretty sure the groom doesn't care about the color of flowers on the table.
Sure.
And vice versa for the groom on the wedding day. If you have a male MC or male DJ, they get the comfortability of, okay, from a man's perspective, he knows, like, I know I want this music and this, that, and the third. So I think having both on your team the day of a wedding kind of gives the bride and groom a little more comfortability and like clarity.
So for the DJ and MC aspect of stuff, I guess I don't think about the aspect of you just simply saying a male and a female is probably the best of both worlds, just to have someone there. But I really just go back to the 2-man show or 2-person show, if you will. But I think you relating to brides a little bit more than maybe male MCs can make a massive difference. I always say, especially as someone who's played the MC role a lot, that I'm not thinking about maybe little flower details, if you will, that maybe you would. So I definitely think a different perspective of that always good.
Yeah.
Let's talk more about LGBTQ weddings and why aren't we doing more of them? Because I want to do more of them. Mary just sent me a text today. She said, "Oh my God, I just had a consult with 2 grooms.
Love
and I
that.
just want to book their wedding. And why aren't we doing more of them?" And I'm like, I know. And like, I'll be the first to say, like, and you know this from day one, love is love. I'm here for all of the weddings. We did the first ever gay lesbian wedding expo 7 years ago.
They are fun, let me tell you.
Like, all of it. But like, I also feel like we just don't book a lot of them, and I'm trying to figure out why and how, and we're here for them. So,
well, it's illegal and so. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I mean, at least for me, that I can relate in a lot of ways. Like, there's a lot of different aspects that go into it. Like, if we're talking like legally, some states you just can't get married as a gay couple.
Sure.
And then, the other aspect of not a lot of people support it. Not everybody has the same story where they're able. I know some people that have had a full-on wedding because of it, but other people had to get married at a courthouse because families don't support it or anything. I'm very lucky in my case where my family does support it, but like I said, not everybody has the same story. And I think, at least for me, when I cross that bridge of marriage, I'm gonna
call in the mix. I know, but
pretty much get that discount. But no, it's all comes down to comfortability. Like, I can spot out someone that doesn't support it and is just fake supporting it, rather than someone that's like, I know how hard it is to get married. I know all the work that your community had to do to get there. Let my team do this for you guys, or, something along those lines.
I think comfortability is obviously everything in this business.
Absolutely.
I don't feel the need that I have to necessarily post, LGBTQ friendly on my website, but like, I promote love is love all the time.
Mm.
But what do you think, like, and let's also say this, like, it goes back to you saying like you simply relate to brides more. So I think it's a no-brainer that a lot of times we'll put you first dibs on maybe a gay or lesbian wedding,
Yeah.
just again for any kind of comparison of relations. And I think right from that jump, maybe that makes them feel that much more comfortable working with you.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, for me at least, any experience I've had, I don't really think there's anything different from a gay
No.
wedding than a heterosexual wedding.
Mm-mm.
Besides two people in a dress, if you will, maybe at a
Yeah.
first dance or not. But like, I haven't done a ton in my life. 15 maybe, I feel like. It might be more. But like, not one of them stands. I'll tell you, they dance more.
Yeah,
There's more
I was just about
dancing.
to say we know how to dance a
There's
drink.
definitely more dancing at any gay and lesbian
Yeah.
things I've done.
And we'll
like,
dance to literally anything.
And going back to Mary's point, like when I say gay and lesbian,
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever done a gay wedding. I've done multiple lesbian weddings, but I don't think I've ever done a gay wedding. Maybe ever. And that's baffling to me.
Yeah.
Like very strange to me that it's like never happened.
Yeah. Did you ever hear of like U-Haul lesbians?
No.
It's basically like the stereotype of like we fall in love super fast and then just like move in and like get married.
No.
So that could be why you don't see much gay weddings.
I don't know. I'm like, how do I wave my flag and say I'm here for more of them? Shout out in the Mix Event Group. We want all the gay and lesbian
I'll look straight
weddings.
in the camera. I'm gay. Please book us.
Again, it goes back to like different kind of markets and different kind of things.
Yeah.
Like we do obviously everything, and we randomly have like, we just booked a Indian wedding that wants some Bollywood, and I always tell people like we're not for everybody. That it's something that it's predominantly an American wedding, but they just want some Bollywood mixed in. So like,
right.
Cool, but like different niche weddings, if you will, or not for everybody, but like something when like I'm also in like some different like gay and lesbian like Facebook groups for like weddings and stuff. Yeah. And they're always like, making sure they're like, allies in the whole nine. And I'm always for it. But then I'm like, now that I'm sitting here talking to you about it, I'm like butthurt that I feel like we don't get enough inquiries.
Yeah.
What are we doing wrong?
Yeah. I don't think it has anything to do with kind of being wrong. I think at the end of the day, it's a business and you gotta market and sell yourself. But yeah, comfortability is.
I'm curious to see. I'm just curious now that we're spitballing and having a conversation. If it's simply more, are they specifically seeking out vendors that are gay and lesbian? Does that make a difference?
Yeah.
I guess it does in the comfortability of what I just said to you. And like, if I'm not specifically myself repping the brand, if you will, if that makes a difference. And essentially, but I guess I'm thinking back of, are they all using, it goes back, like my comparison is almost in mitzvahs. Like there could be like two companies that crush that all the Jewish families in said neighborhood or said group go to this company. And I guess maybe that's kind of the same. Shout out DJ Maggie May. She and I go way back, and I
did her wedding.
What?
I think I did her wedding.
Who was?
Oh, I thought. Never mind.
No, she's a DJ that I see that she does a lot of gay and lesbian weddings, and she is herself. But like, I'm like, does she just completely clean up that entire market?
Yeah.
Because that's, her market herself. I don't know. I'm just always looking for different ideas of how we can do more networking and more business together. I noticed that a lot of people have been posting about, like, I follow this content, and like they're talking about you can't just play 2 hours of straight hype music because people will get burned out. So you have to be able to bring it back down and bounce around a little bit. Yeah, so that's super important in the progression of the 2-hour open dance floor set. What's hot and what's overdone in the weddings? Anything that comes to mind?
A lot of people are doing speeches that are at their rehearsal dinner rather than the wedding, which I kind of like and I kind of don't. I think that speeches typically should only be like maximum 4 minutes,
Ooh.
if that. Yeah. But I kind of like that people, or I don't like that people are doing them at the rehearsal dinner, because I feel like when you go to a wedding, you're kind of expected to hear speeches and it's kind of like traditional. But then again, a lot of people aren't doing very traditional things at weddings anymore.
I agree. We just talked about this on a pod with Keith a couple weeks ago. Like, I don't even know if it's been live yet or not, but I feel like I have pros and cons to that too.
Yeah.
I think it's cool that you're getting it out of the way early and maybe that gives you 10, 15 more minutes of dancing. But does it take away from your best man that you were the best man in his wedding of 200 people and now you're only getting to do your speech in front of 10 people at the rehearsal kind of thing?
That's true, yeah.
I feel like there are some pros and cons to that, but maybe you do get a 10-minute window because you're only in front of 10 people.
Wait, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
If somebody, like, say you were the best man in someone's wedding,
Okay.
are you going to feel obligated to make that person your best man, or vice versa?
I think it's a tough. So we had a bride come on like 2-3 months ago, and she said, absolutely not.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. It's so weird because for me personally, I have a couple people in my life that like have been best friends, lifelong weddings.
Yeah.
I've been a best man in 2 weddings.
Okay.
So let's start there of who do I pick out of them 2 for starters? And like,
yeah.
they're both brothers to me, but neither one of them do I talk to like every day of my life. And I have
This is
other
true.
closer
Yeah.
best friends right now. They'd both be like in the bridal party.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't even know who it would be tomorrow if I got married tomorrow. So
I feel like it's harder for men too, because like for women, we can just have like a matron and a maid and a bridesmaid. But I feel like you're either a groomsman or a best man, so you can only really have one.
I mean,
but I've seen people
there's
have
definitely
like
been 2
3.
best mans
Yeah.
kind of thing. But I don't know. I go back and forth with it. I feel like it definitely should be one.
Yeah.
At this point,
See, I'm too nice and I like can't pick anybody.
for me, saying this right now, I feel like depending on, Amanda never watches these. I always say I could talk about me getting married. I could play my whole wedding right now and she'd never watch it. But
aren't you like 5 years?
We want to in 17 days, yes. But I think at this point, it's probably going to be my kid. And that's a win to get me out of my boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, your kid will be 15 by that time.
up.
I'm kidding.
How would you describe your vibe and style at a wedding for an MC?
Very energetic. Me personally as an MC, I know that there's MCs out there that talk and sing on the mic and they're on there like 24/7. A question I always like to ask my couple is, hey, do you like, obviously you need an energetic MC, but like, do you like a lot of talking? Do you like a lot of, hey, let me hear you sing?
Right.
Minimum. Yeah. Right, like I feel like I've been at weddings where I didn't hear the MC at all. And then I've been at weddings where I heard the MC constantly. And I'm like, who sings this song? Like, not you. Please get off the mic. So I feel like my style is in between. If there's a lot going on the dance floor, obviously you're going to be on the mic a lot more than you would if there isn't anything going on the dance floor. Essentially, in the beginning of the night, you're going to be super energetic. And then as the drinks pour in, you kind of come down on that.
I guess you can go back and forth. Like,
yeah,
some weddings that you need more, that's not happening, and other weddings are just killer itself that you don't necessarily have to go over the top because it's just crushing as it is.
Yeah. And I've noticed at weddings that less is more. Like, a lot of the times, nobody wants to hear your voice. They want to hear the song. They want to have a good time. And I feel like sometimes DJs or MCs, they're just constantly on the mic, and you're
And it's
just
not
like,
about them.
yeah, and it's like, no, I want to hear Nelly play. Like, calm down.
Facts.
Yeah.
Katie Davis, 5 years in the mix. On the Mix Behind the Mic podcast here at Studio 33. Final thoughts for us. Take us home. Anything for the brides and grooms listening today. I feel like there's like multiple things that I was thinking of driving in today, talking about today, and now it's late and I'm like blanking out, ADHD over here. I'm all over the place. Thoughts? What do you got?
My number one piece of advice, like we touched base earlier in the podcast, make it your wedding. Don't worry about anybody besides you guys. This is your day. Especially when it comes to picking the music, make sure it's music that you want to hear. Maybe it's music that reminds you of a time you guys first got together, or something like that. Make your wedding yours. And then as like the DJ aspect, because I am a female, for anyone out there that is a female DJ, you can do it. There's going to be a lot of people like in the industry that feel like you suck because you're a female, and like that's just not the case.
Don't give you any credit because
don't give you like any credit at all. And even as an MC, like I feel like people kind of look at me like you get the half of, oh my god, like it's a girl, and then you get like, oh my god, it's a girl.
I can't see the negative.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, again, I'm not a female. I never got any looks or anything like that. But like, I think it's more about embracing and challenging yourself that like, I'm going to show these people.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. I feel like when I first got in the industry, like I was super hard on myself because I feel like people listen more closely and like pay attention more to a female DJ than they would a male DJ. So I was like super hard on myself, like working all the time, trying to mix, trying to figure out this and that. And like at the end of the day, ultimately, the number one skill you have to have as a DJ, especially DJing, is like being able to read a room. And it's as simple as that. If you play the right music, people are going to think you're a great DJ. Like, and that's kind of the advice I give starting out, is like just make sure you have the vibe check down. Like if you have a group of girls on the dance floor like ages 25 to 35, play Hillary Duff. Like play This Is What Dreams Are Made Of. Like they'll go crazy. Play I Love It. Like just know your crowd, and then eventually work up to the mixing. And
I can't believe Hillary Duff is back, but that's another story.
Look, and Hannah Montana.
It's just wild.
I'm thriving. I'm 26. This I'm thriving. Right. This is like my, I don't even know. Yeah.
I'm too old. I'm past.
By the way, that song, This Is What Dreams Are Made Of, every time does the dance.
It never not work.
Every time. Now it never not work.
Now I think it's even working even more so because it's now a comeback.
Yeah. Which is crazy because I've always played that song in my sets, and it's always been crazy. And then if you follow it up with like any High School Musical or Hannah Montana song, it like goes nuts. And I was like, I've been doing this forever. It's finally back.
It's funny. Shout out to Nikki Smith. She is the director over at Valley Brook, and she came on a couple weeks ago, and she quoted, "Hey now, hey now," hey now. And now every time I hear it, I think of her, and it just cracks me up that it's like
I know
back all over again.
Oh yeah,
it's a fresh new song. But that's also like when I was growing up, and there's songs that come out that you hear for the first time, and like no. What is the song? At night I think of you. That was like huge when I was young, and now like 5-6 years ago.
Oh yeah,
maybe longer. I don't know.
There will be times where I'm doing like a school dance or like a Sweet 16 or something, and they'll be like, "Hey, can you play this song?" And I'm like, "How do you like Beauty and the Beat? Like, how do you know that? Like that came out in 2012. Like, how do you know that?" But yeah, I definitely think 2000. I don't feel like 2000s really went away, but those songs are like really making a comeback. It's kind of how I started like a radio show back in college. I heard Down by Jay Sean at a party, and I was like, oh my God, you don't hear this anymore. And I started a radio show.
That song's fire.
Top 5 favorite songs.
Top 5?
Top 5, yeah. If not.
All right, tell me something else in the top 5 before we end this.
I think We're Alone Now by Tiffany, which I just found out the other day is a cover. I had no idea. That song's a banger, and it's low-key my guilty. What's your guilty pleasure song?
My guilty pleasure song?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think mine's 1,000 Miles.
I mean, all right. I'll take you. I'll even say it with you. I'm in for that. I'm in for that.
Okay.
Guilty pleasure. I'll take
it's banger.
Miles. And listen, I never turn it off, and I turn the radio up every time I hear it. So my kid knows that I love that song anytime it comes on. It's kind of weird. He's like, Dad, it's your song. 1,000 Miles. True story, actually.
And Unwritten, for those of you that don't know.
Yeah, well, that's our song, Unwritten.
This is true.
Any oh shit moments that you ever had to save the day for?
Yeah. So
probably multiple times.
Yeah. I feel like there's so much stuff that goes on that like maybe oh shit, like to us, but it's like the most memorable thing.
Yeah.
For the bride and groom. There's this one wedding I did. I was like 23, 24 doing it. And it was with DJ Smooth. We were at Union Trust downtown. And for those of you that don't or have never been there, it's a very narrow dance floor, very small. So we're in the middle. Luckily, Taylor Swift's song was playing, My Moment to Shine, and it was Love Story, and the music just stopped. And I was like, all right, let me hear you sing, like trying to like play it off. They sang everything out. The end of the song comes. Still don't hear anything. I go over. Someone had backed into the DJ booth, broke the USB cord to the hard drive. Yeah. So I go in the middle and I'm like, does anybody know how to sing? So the maid of honor or bridesmaid or someone, whoever it was, started singing Over the Rainbow. I brought the bride and groom to the middle of the dance floor, had everyone turn on their flashlight. And then the venue read the room and they have like sparklers there. And the sparklers went off. And at the end of the night, I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, luckily, by the end of that, you know, the music was up and running. So, like, when I was like, give it up for our bride and groom, it was music playing, thank God. So, at the end of the night, I walked up to them. I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, someone backed in. And they were like, that was the best moment of my wedding. So, like, something that was the worst moment of our lives ended up being the best moment for them. Yeah.
It wound up being such a key moment.
Yeah.
Something not similar at all, but like a wedding I did 10 years ago, they did an encore, like one more song. We played one more song. They asked for another. The venue was like, no. And someone just started singing Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. And then like 150 people just started singing the entire song, a cappella, screaming it for 7 minutes in its entirety. And it was like one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
It's usually one of the songs that gets everybody.
It's wild. That's actually a good one.
Yeah.
Well, Katie, I appreciate you coming on. We'll have to have you come on again. The Mix Behind the Mic. I hope we keep growing where we're just going to have to do this year 2. We'll see you all over again.
Absolutely.
Shout out Katie Davis, DJ and MC at In the Mix event group. Thanks for coming on the pod. We'll see you next time, Katie.
Thank you, guys.